What's the deal, y'all? What's the deal, y'all? What's the deal, y'all? Rich Trapper tapping in 10 in Trap News Network. Back in the same, like Cook cracking the same here at 10 in Trap News Network. It's that good news you can use. It's that good knowledge you're not finna get in nobody's college, big dog. Tap in with the tap in and make sure you are, in fact, tapped in with that tap in. You feel me? Hit the like, hit the comment, hit the subscribe button. Everything we got going on here at TNN Trap News Network. It's that news you can use. It's that knowledge you're not finna get nobody's college. Hit the like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and hit us on Trap News Network on Instagram. TRAPNEWSNETWORX. Trap News Network. Hit us up on Instagram if you would like to be a part of this Trap News Network family, man. We are looking for correspondents to join this TNN Trap News Network family, man. So if you feel like you can get us some news we can use, some good knowledge you can't get nobody's college, or you just feel like you can do my job better than me, hit me up for this potentially paid opportunity, man. Tap in with that tap in. If you ain't tapped in with that good tap in. You feel me? Hit that notification bell, hit all, stay tapped in for the latest and the greatest, and hit the description, hit the link in the description to sign a petition to get rid of pathetic fatso out of our great United States. You feel me? Sign a petition, support the deport. Get Flakko deported all 2025 going into the 2028 presidential election. I'm gonna run for president. Don't worry about that though. We finna jump into this content without no further do's or don'ts, man. We got OG Hoover Crip from Texas saying that California Crippin is water. Damn. The hell? How can somebody from? We just finna jump into this content. Let's see what's going on here.
Paperboy News, here to deliver y'all that daily report. Now shout outs to Real Tune TV. He had OG Percy, who's an OG from Hoover out there in Texas. Now I guess they got different fractions of Hoover out there, and according to Real Tune TV, the Hoover Crip gangsters is going at it with the Hoover gangster Crips. Now when Tune asked some LA Hoovers how do they feel about the Hoovers beefing it out there in Texas, they replied back by saying that's a bunch of nonsense.
In the Texas penal system, there's a war between HGC, that stands for Hoover Gangster Crip, and HCG, which stands for Hoover Crip Gang. What do y'all think of this feud between the five deuce Hoover set in Texas?
First of all, that's some nonsense right there. I ain't never heard of no bullshit. That's some straight bullshit. Dead home.
Now the LA Hoover said before we was even born, the Hoovers politics was already established. And can't nobody, including Percy and the Texas Hoovers, change that. And he said the fact that they got the Hoover gangster Crips going at it with the Hoover Crip gangsters, they should stop banging because they're pissing them off.
What I gotta say before I pass the mic to my bro on Hoover, like what niggas know is the script is like big bro said, the script is the script. It's been the script before us, before all of that on the dead homies, you feel me? So we not changing nothing, can't shit change on the dead homies, like the homie said, y'all can go bang something else. But cause that just pissed me off on Hoover. But Hoover come before all of everything and everything. Hoover come before Crip, it come before gangster, it come before criminal. Hoover is first, you know what I'm saying? That's what niggas to understand that, you feel me? So ain't no way a nigga Hoover to beefing with Hoover because they switched the letters around.
Now Tune asked Percy, how does he?
Now, this is where the rubber meets the road. This is where controversy hits. Because I've met a lot of people over these United States, sign the petition to support the deport, get them out of these greater United States. And I've met a lot of gang members. And oftentimes, especially in the South, I'm going to call a spade a spade. It's nothing against nobody from the South. But the way you guys take Los Angeles gangs and manipulate the politics to your liking is definitely unacceptable. I'm gonna call a spade a spade. For example, I've seen at Rolling 60 Crip Days in Atlanta, A-Tray gangsters and Hoovers there. Swear to God, and Inglewood families. I've seen that. Oh, well, we do it like this. Oh, we do it like that. Oh, we do it like this. And nobody's telling you, okay, fine. You know, y'all get along with who y'all get along with. But I would like to imagine that where just from a logical person's thinking, not even from a gang member's thinking, just looking at it in logic, when you start changing the fundamentals of what these guys have been doing for generations, that you just started doing within maybe the last 20 years, what they've been doing for, you know, decades upon decades, that if you want to take it back to like the Slauson Boys and the Gladiators and the Businessmen, might be close to pushing 100 years, literally, of doing this, I can see it becomes a problem. And for the Hoover criminal gang, for the Hoover Crip gang to be beefing with the Hoover gangster Crips sounds incredibly stupid, not gonna lie. And I can imagine that anybody who was from the original faction of the Los Angeles-based Hoovers is like, what the hell are y'all niggas even talking about? Because let's take it from anything. It could be Hoovers, 60s, Perus, BPSs, families, 40s, Swans, Bloodstone Villains, Avalon. It don't matter. The Crip gang versus the Gangster Crips. What? You guys were bored. And two people got into an argument from two different sides, and you guys allowed those two people to influence a lot of bad decision making. Two people got bored, got into a dispute, and you allowed those bad decisions to influence you all. Because that just is illogical for so many reasons. That's a terrible reason to split your neighborhood. It's a terrible reason. And then for the Los Angeles-based Hoovers to be like, that's not what it is, and then for them to continue to go about that situation that way would show a direct sign of disrespect. Because you should ultimately still pay homage and still respect the overall codes of conduct of those who laid down this platform for you to have this platform. You feel me? Not to take it and say, well, I'm gonna do it like this now, and no matter what you say. With anything, there is a hierarchy. Anything, the military, workforce, everybody has a manager, an assistant manager, general manager, owner, blah, blah. There's a hierarchy with everything. And when the hierarchy isn't respected, there's only one thing, and we all know what that is. But hopefully it doesn't lead to that. But let's go ahead and see how OG Percy is now finna disrespect California. Let's see what comes next from OG Percy.
It come before a criminal. Hoover is first. You know what I'm saying? That's what niggas to understand that. You feel me? So ain't no way a nigga Hoover to beefing with Hoover because they switched the letters around.
Now, Toon asked Percy, how does he feel about the LA Hoovers giving the Texas Hoovers backlash? Now, I'm not gonna lie, even though Percy's from Texas, he gave the dumbest response, and he said, I'm not gonna speak on LA speaking on us because I didn't get my Crippin influence from them. But you banging Hoover, which is an LA set. That actually started on Hoover Street, which is located in Los Angeles. Now, Percy said, not only did I not get my Crippin influence from Los Angeles, but they got their Crippin influence from us. Now, the reason why Percy said that is because he said Tookie Williams was born in Louisiana, which is in the South. And even though he started Crippin out there in Los Angeles, at the end of the day, he wasn't originally from there. And he said, with that being said, even though LA made it popular for gangbanging, at the end of the day, it all started in the South. Now, this is how you could tell Percy don't be doing his background check or his research. Because Tookie didn't start the Crips, Raymond Washington did. Now, Percy told the LA Hoovers, as far as you guys saying there ain't no HGC, if y'all really believe that, come out here to Houston, Texas to say that. Now, Percy said, unlike the LA Hoovers, we not orange and blue. We blue and gold. Now, Percy said, unlike other states that pick up LA gangs, we deep over here, so we don't have to politic with them. Now, if you guys can remember, Crip Max said he was from Rolling 60s out there in Texas. And the reason why he stopped banging Rolling 60s out there is because when he came out here to LA, he found out that the Rolling 60s and the Hoovers don't get along. But he said out there in Texas, the Hoovers and the Rolling 60s was buddy kicking it over there. Now, Percy said the reason why we don't listen to LA politics is because Hoovers out here in Texas, we run free like renegades. And he said, unlike LA, we didn't have no OGs that raised us. Well, it sounds like y'all needed one, because to have a Hoover Gangsta Crip and a Hoover Crip gang out there in Texas and then they beefing it with each other, that's why they didn't have no guidance. Now, I stopped watching Percy's interview because at the end of the day, he didn't make no sense. But y'all like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Y'all let me know what y'all think down in that comment section. Paperboy Newsstand. Y'all be safe and stay dangerous out there. Gone.
And just like I said, stupidity. The Hoover Crip gang is beefing with the Hoover Gangster Crips. This is dumb. And then you're going to say, well, I didn't get my Crippin influence from LA. It came from Texas. It came from the South because Tookie Williams came from Louisiana. And it was started by Raymond Washington. Right. This is another episode of people just saying anything. And again, this is nothing to say about my Southern-based fans and anything like that. But pay attention to what's going on. And you're hearing it from a Los Angeles person's perspective. And then you're hearing it from Paperboy News as well. Respect go a long way. It's not for you to take something that was created anywhere. It could have been started on Jupiter. It's not for you to take it and be like, well, I'm going to do it like this now. I'm going to do it like that now. And I've noticed that that's the temperature and that's the thought process of a lot of Southern gangs that are rooted within Los Angeles. Will come down here and tell us that we can't. Like, first of all, go. That's not even how that works. Go to where it started and tell them that you can. You're thinking about it the wrong way, and that's a coward's way out. That's an extremely coward's way out, because you're taking something that someone else started, and then you're saying, well, you inconvenience yourself and go out of your way to come to me and tell me about it. No, that's not how that goes. If you're so brazen about what you're doing, you'll go over there and take over their territory and make the originals follow your new program. Because God knows that whenever niggas come to Los Angeles or California in general, it's a whole different ballgame. When it comes to gangbanging, there's no reason for them to go anywhere to you. It's every reason for you to go everywhere to them. Meaning there's no reason, if we're talking only gang-related purposes, there's no reason for a Hoover from Hoover Street in Los Angeles, California to make a pilgrimage to any other state to go visit the Hoovers there to show anything. That doesn't make sense at all. He's in the motherland. He's where it's hot at. He's where it's active at. He's where you could lose your life at. That's it and that's all. He's where generations of bloodshed is there. He is in the Holy Land. It's for you to make your job go. It's for you to make your business to go over there and see what job he on. To hide behind that and be like, oh, well, you're not gonna come out here and say nothing. That's a coward's way out. That's a coward's way out. And if that's your thought process, you're a coward. Straight up. And that's not if you just banging Hoovers, banging Crip, Blood, Hoover, Paru, Sereno, whatever the case is, blah, blah, blah. If you feel like you can take anybody's program that was started anywhere else outside of where you're from, take it to now where you're from, and now adjust it to where it's like this, and your thought is, oh, well, they're not gonna come out here and stop me, you're a coward. Period, point blank. And if you don't understand the reasoning how, it's because you're too much of a coward to understand reasoning. With that being said, red dots to the left, y'all know the rest, and it's free Avenue Angel Tweets free. We go.